Good morning and welcome to Pajama Talks. I'm so glad that you're here. And today we're going to be talking about change. And the reason why I think it's important to talk about change is because for a great many of us, change is hard, difficult. It makes you uneasy, it makes you stressed out and anxious. And so I just want to speak to it. So my family and I, we just moved houses, and that's listed as one of the top 5 stressors that you can face. And I've thought a lot about that as I've gone through this process because historically I'm someone who doesn't really like change. I come from a chaotic background, a chaotic family life. I come from there was a lot of moving. So change makes me uncomfortable. And I really like to have consistency and constancy because that kind of structure allows me to kind of relax. I know what's coming. Um, and the fact of the matter is as much as I would like to have, I guess my life would be easier if I didn't have any change. A, boring, blah, and B, that's just not life. That's just not how life works. Life is change. Life is fluid and inconsistent and it's like a stream or a river, right? It's constantly moving, constantly changing, and all you have in all of that flow of water in your life is you, really, ultimately, right? So I have tried really hard this move to really look at that for me because leading up to moving, how I felt was kind of this underlying feeling of, I don't know, dread, because I knew that it was going to cause a lot of upheaval for me. But luckily, I have some tools that I have learned from my life and from yoga specifically that really helped me during this process. So that I could kind of look at that dread and kind of be like, oh, look, there's my old friend dread that's pre-warning me of the upheaval that's coming. And is there going to be really upheaval? I don't know about that. I could question the feelings that were coming up in my body. So I thought I would leave you with 3 things or give you the gift of 3 things that really helped me during the process of change. And the first thing is was to remind myself that change is always, that change is part of life and that it's a normal part of life. And as much as I, particularly like before my yoga evolution, would like to grip and make it structured and formal and rigid because it helped me feel safe, that's not really truly how it is. That even when you create those structures, there's a lot of change that happens within those structures. So if I could just be like normalize it and be like change is always, that helped me, that I wasn't alone, that everybody's going through change of one shape or form or another, and that change is completely normal. Sometimes you take a left, sometimes you take a right. Sometimes your world implodes for one reason or another. Sometimes you move. Sometimes you lose a job. Sometimes you get breast cancer. It's change, and sometimes it's catastrophic. Is life. The second thing that helped me was to recall and remember that the one thing I could count on was myself. within it all. And even with it, you know, it could be really, worrying around, and the movers and the packing and taking care of other people, and it was going to get done, right? It's all going to get done. And in the middle of it, I can come to my center. I can look at it and be like, oh, look, it's all really, what's happening right here. And I can find myself in the worrying. I could count on myself. I could count on my own self in the midst of change. And of course I could count on my partner, and of course I could count on my children, and of course, I can count on those are people I can count on, yes. But moreover, I can count on myself. I'm the constant. I can be the constant in the chaos. And the tool that I use to help me kind of, let me look at my notes so I say it right. The tool that I used anyway to help me kind of get to my center is to either, if I'm seated, then I really would notice my sit bones on the earth. Right now I'm sitting crisscross applesauce, and I'm sitting on my sit bones. But if I was standing, I would kind of go back and forth between my feet, getting grounded a little bit in myself. Sometimes if I was really, I would stomp my feet, or, just march a little bit. I'd do circles if I was seated. Just kind of get into the root of myself, get into the ground of myself. And uh, and then I would take a full deep breath in, hold it at the top, and sigh it out. And I'd take a couple of easy breaths, and I would do it again. Full deep breath in, and sigh it out. And that helped me just kind of get right back to myself, and calm the winds, you know? Anyway, if you're going through change, and life is change, so you're always going through change, right? But if you're going through big change, I just want you to know you're not alone. And I hope that you're able to keep your center as you move through and navigate your waters. Have a great day.